for today, let us talk about electricity. So this is for the first part of our um, midterm class, the electricity. So what is electricity for you and how does it help us, the electricity? So let's start off electricity. Let us define the word: the presence and the flow of electric charges, form of energy that can be easily changed into different forms. So that is what electricity is all about. So where does electricity comes from? So there are two origins of our electricity. One is from power stations, supplies a lot of electricity used in many electrical appliances. So example for this one is our Seneco. So this is one example of our power stations that supplies a lot of electricity to our different individuals here in Bacolod City, and of course it supplies the different appliances in our homes. Next is our electric cells or our batteries, supply a little electricity, or this one is portable. So this source of energy can be recharged again, no? So it also depends because there are also batteries that cannot be recharged or are not rechargeable. So what is static and a current electricity? So when we say static electricity, charges are at rest, meaning it is in state and accumulates on the surface of the insulator. So the charges are at rest and accumulates on the surface of the insulator. Next, we have the current electricity. Electrons are moving inside the conductor. So, meaning there is a flow, there is a movement of the electricity on our conductor. So, static electricity, in a deeper meaning, generated through friction. Meaning, there should be a friction in order for a static electricity to be produced. Examples: when we walk on a carpeted floor and getting shocked when touching a doorknob or any other metal objects is one of the best example of a static electricity. I don't know if you are familiar with this one. Example, you were in a mall for a while and it feels really cold inside the mall. And then suddenly, surface, yung imong skin, nag-touch surface mo sa skin of someone or someone you know. So, sometimes nagkakaano kita, nakakibot kita or gulpi lang, no, nagapangurinti. So that is one example of our static electricity. So clothes stuck to one another after being in a dryer is another example of a static electricity. When dry air is brushed with a plastic comb, static electricity is produced. If it is done in a dark room, you will notice the sparkles. So yung sparkles ang galing nga nagkaka-produce. So thoughts on static electricity: lightning is one of the main examples of static electricity. The positive and negative charges inside the cloud makes the electric current and causes the lightning. So lightning is a static electricity. So current electricity, ano naman ang ginatawag ng current electricity? Di ba naging discuss na to? It has a flow, it has a movement of electricity or electrons inside the conductor. So terms, you have electric current, the rate of flow of electric charges in a circuit. And then electric circuit, the path along which electric current move. So kung electric current, ang rate or ang flow of electric charges inside the circuit. Kung magama ka naman in the circuit, amo ni siya ang ginalatayan sa aton nga electric movement or electric current. I mean, so current, we have the DC and the AC. What do you mean by DC? The charges flows in one direction only, and in AC, the charges flows in alternate direction, meaning alternate. So electric charges made up of positive and negative charges. When these charges flow in a circuit, a current is produced. Meaning, in electric charges, there should be always a positive and a negative charge. Hindi pwede positive and positive or negative and negative because it will not produce an electrical charge. So Coulomb's law states that the charges of the same polarity repel each other and unlike charges experience a strong attractive force. So that is what we meant by when we say electric charges are being produced because there is a positive and a negative charge. Hindi pwede negative and negative because it will repel each other, just what the Coulomb's law says. Meaning, hindi sila mag-combine, hindi sila mag-form something because they will react with one another because they have the same polarity. But when there is a positive and there is a negative charge, so they will strongly attract each other and form a charge. So ammeter used to measure the current, no? So how to measure the current? So in SI unit, it is measured in ampere, and 1 ampere is equals to 1000 milliampere. Must be connected in a series in the circuit. So must be connected in series in the circuit. So electric circuits. So what are the electric circuits? They are made up of electrical components. These components must be joined together without any gap in between to force a closed circuit. So there is an open circuit and there is a closed circuit. Kung itry bala naton check ang sa ang sa aton nga batteries, ni ara dira ang naga-spring lang siya na portion, and then sa piak there is also a closed one. So they should be joined together without any gap in between to form a closed circuit. Next, ways to arrange an electric circuit. So we have the series na circuit and the parallel na circuit. So this is the series circuit and this is the parallel circuit. So a series circuit connects the components one after another, meaning may series. A single loop is formed, only one single loop, although damo siya nga mga circuit pero only single loop lang. A break in any part of a series circuit stops the flow of current in the whole circuit, meaning kung may mabugto lang di bisan diin nga isa, hindi na nadayon mag-flow ang current in the whole circuit. How about for our parallel circuit? Anong ginatawag na parallel circuit? Ang parallel circuit divides into two or more branches. The current divides and flows through each parallel branch. If a component breaks or is removed, the other component is remain on. So for this one, since this is a parallel circuit nga example, no? So kung for example na bugto ni ang diriya ho, ang isa ni mabilin siya gyapon. Unlike sa aton nga series circuit, mabugto ang isa, hindi na mag-flow ang tanan. But for our parallel circuit, mabugto ang isa may bilin pa. So are we clear on that? So Ohm's law. Another law, the amount of current is directly proportional to the voltage and is inversely proportional to the resistance. Meaning, Ohm's law is equals to voltage over resistance because inversely proportional si voltage from the resistance. So terms, we have the voltage, the difference in charge between 2 points, current, the rate at which the charge is flowing, resistance, a material's tendency to resist the flow of a charge or current. So, very self-explanatory. So, why do we study electricity? Kaya diba, araman ta sa medical field, nga akin ang lano nato ni balao na. So, in medical field, we also use the electricity. So, damo kita mga machines, no? We have the electrotherapy as one example. So, we have also the iontophoresis patches. So, as what I have encountered before, no, iontophoresis, so these are example of machines na gina-use sa hospitals to separate the different globulins or the different nga mga immunoglobulins naton sa aton nga lawas nga ginapang-usar. So, let's not dig deeper into that because that's another topic also. But this one, dina-separate na sila sa different charges and then, mabalaan na siya kung ano siya nga immunoglobulin because in that certain charge, naga-move na siya ang amo na siya nga protein or particle. So, use electrical current to facilitate delivery of therapeutic agents into inflamed or painful tissue. So, one example is this, mga when we have, when they diagnose or gina-try nila to find out about systemic lupus erythematosus. So, another one is we have the liver cancer, no? Use na sila mga iontophoresis. So, a drug delivery method that uses low-level direct current in the milliampere range to transport drugs and other water-soluble salts through and into tissues of the body. So, of course, mayara kita mga carrier protein sa aton nga mga body, kag niara man kita nga mga active kag passive nga transport. Magamba kita passive, wala siya nag-require energy, naga-flow lang din siya. When we say active na transport of proteins in our body, it requires energy, it requires carrier particle na para matransport ang amo na protein across sa aton nga different membranes. So, for cancer treatment, we have the DC electrotherapy. And then, that's all for electricity topic na part 1. No? Let's continue next time.